Hello everyone, True Zero Emissions here. So, I've been studying video 7 of Energy from the Vacuum, and video 7, the first 15 minutes. Now, I'm not saying that this is what it's saying to do, okay? I'm interpreting, and I'm, how can I say this? I'll say I was inspired to draw this out after watching the first 15 minutes of video 7 in the series Energy from the Vacuum. By the way, highly recommend watching that series. It's available on YouTube. Just look up Energy from the Vacuum, and there's 42 videos, and they're all available for your consideration. So what I was thinking was, let's say I have a motor controller that has 3 wires, and the question I have is, can I run one of the wires, and I think this is called in series, which is going through this coil, so it goes in series through the coil, which means it goes in one side of the coil and comes out this side and goes into the back of the motor. So it's going to run the motor, right? In addition to that, I've connected here, and I go into a full wave bridge rectifier, and I'll be using a 50 amp 250 volt full wave bridge rectifier. If I need to use like something different, then I'll keep you updated on that as I progress through experimentation. But I'm going to start out with the ones that I have right now, which is 50 amps, 40 or 50 amps, approximately 200 volts, or 250 volts, 200 to 250 volts. And then I'll go into a capacitor, and then I'll go into charging a battery and see what happens. So it's just an experiment. We can call this a thought experiment, and I'm interested in experimenting with this. I'm not recommending anyone do this. I'm just saying this is what I want to do as an experiment, and highly recommend, make sure you make copies, if possible, duplicate of Energy from the Vacuum series. It's really important to have that for yourself, for your research and study purposes. So I would say make sure to save a copy of that somehow, right? Because I think YouTube allows you to download the videos. I think you have to be, I don't know if you have to have a subscription for that, but I know the videos can be watched for free right now. So you can watch the videos without paying any fees. But if you want to download them, I think you might need to be you have to look into how to do that. So research how to duplicate that series. But I highly recommend that everyone, if you even think you might be interested someday, but you're not even interested now or don't have time to watch it right now, have someone duplicate that series for you, or if you can do it yourself, put it aside. And on a rainy day, you can watch those videos. And if this is interesting to you, I would say, study it and then make your own version of a variation of what you learned there. This is my variation of when I see what they're saying, what John Bedini was explaining on the video, I thought, well, if I can use that system, can I use this system? It's a question. I want to see what happens when I try this. I don't even know if it'll work. I don't know if the motor will work, but I'm thinking, why won't it work if I'm going through the coil, right? It should work. Is anything happening here in these wires, right? This is a full wave bridge rectifier. Why am I putting a capacitor there? I'm hoping that if this is negative energy, if it is, will the capacitor change it into positive energy? And then will the positive energy charge the battery? I don't know. What happens if I don't use a capacitor? And what happens if I use a capacitor? That's 2 different experiments I'll try. So, and then see how the battery responds. Does it have any difference in temperature, difference in the way it charges? I don't even know if this will charge the battery at all, and I also don't know if the motor will work. I also don't know if the motor will work perfectly, and if the battery will charge very well. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if the battery that powers the controller, right, if the battery that powers the controller was able to also be charged, right? Instead of running 2 separate batteries, let's say I run one battery these are two different tests as well. This is two different tests I'm talking about right now. One test is this battery, we'll call it battery A, powers the circuit. And this is battery B that's being charged by the circuit. I'll say it that way, right? So one battery's powering the circuit and one battery's being charged by the circuit. And then when this battery's depleted and this battery's full, I put this battery here and then I put this battery here. So battery A that was running the circuit is now being charged, and battery B, which was being charged, moves into the battery A position, and that becomes the one that powers the circuit. And then the question is, can this battery charge before this battery depletes? Okay, that's one of the big achievements that experimenters have achieved, and that achievement is a lot of people have achieved 100% success with having battery B charged before battery A is depleted. But I'm not saying they did it with this circuit. They're doing this with John Bedini's circuit, which I don't understand yet. So I've memorized it. I understand it. I mean, I understand. Well, let me just say this. I've memorized it, and I'm studying it. And if I need to replicate exactly what he did, I will. But I'm just want to start with where my imagination goes. My imagination goes to, do I need a bicycle wheel? Do I need to put a magnet approximately every 5 inches apart with all the norths facing out? Do I need to have a coil that runs that wheel, and then another coil of wires that captures, I'm going to call it the impulse that is sent to ultimately to the battery, right? To a full wave bridge rectifier, and I think to a capacitor as well, and then to a battery, right? Do I need to do that? And if I need to do that, I will. And I may do it anyway. Even if this works, I may still do the other experimentations, because I want to see how many different ways a battery can be charged, right? How many different ways can I charge a battery? Okay, everyone, True Zero Emissions signing off. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Say bye, Robert.
Adios, amigo.
Robert said bye.